Callie O'Brien, Zavarian.
Sophia Gonzalez, Flint Ridge Prep.
Annie Ryan, Westwood High School.
Sam Souza, the Rivers School.
All right, so now year 2 of being captain, what does the role of being a captain kind of have in the day-to-day? How does that influence what you bring to practice, how you mentally prepare for games?
Yeah, I think I try to focus on being a good leader at practice just by being vocal and picking everybody up and staying positive during practice and during games. So I see my role as kind of making sure I'm being intense, positive, and competitive so that I can ask the same thing of everybody else.
Yeah, so we've seen over 3 years now your role drastically change from being like a spot shooter your first year to now being a dominant point guard. How has the adjustment between those two very different roles been?
Yeah, it's definitely been an adjustment, but I feel like my role honestly changes from game to game, and I try to just keep it simple as my role in each game is to do whatever I can to help us win.
All right, so obviously in addition to being a star athlete, you're a very driven and motivated student. How do you manage those two very time-intensive parts of your life?
Yep, I spend a lot of time at the library. I also get made fun of because I make a lot of to-do lists that are almost to the minute, but I think just trying to stay ahead of things like that and giving myself like weekly to-do lists is helpful to kind of manage both.
All right, so Sophia, you grew up with a father who coached basketball at UC Santa Barbara and a mother who was a TV star. What was that experience growing up in such a very popular household?
Honestly, I feel like I don't really have any siblings, so I feel like it was just very, very melancholy, very like slow on the day-to-day, but very cool to like experience the fact that like my mom's on TV and like current taping and stuff like that. Also, both my parents are lawyers, so like no arguments would ever be won, and they still aren't ever won. Then with my dad, I feel like he was very excited that I took basketball, obviously, to be like my sport, and he was like very much a role model for me and like a guide in my earlier ages of playing basketball. So it was always fun to have somebody to like work out and do stuff with.
So you're someone whose game is very much, as we saw from last year, putting up all those three-pointers, dependent on shooting. So how do you reset when the shot just isn't falling?
That's a good question. I think I try to hone in on something like this year. I've been really into getting steals, and I think that, or getting tips on like defensive stops. So I think that like kind of propels me because, in a way, it's kind of like a psychological thing. If you could take the ball from somebody, like you're like, this is mine. So I feel like that kind of propels me in the right direction when my shots aren't falling.
All right, can you talk about the factors that influenced your choice to come to Tufts?
A lot of factors definitely influenced my choice. Coming here, I went to a lot of the camps, and the summer coming in, I met the team, and I really loved all of them, and what was really important to me was knowing that I would come into, like, they all treat each other like family, and they're all best friends, and that was really important to me. And also, like, the academics and the athletic side of it, it's both, like, really great.
Awesome. And then what's kind of the feeling you have coming to campus, just knowing the reputation your sister had both as a player and as a fan?
Well, as a fan, my cousin also played here, so I came to a lot of her games and my sister's games, and I just loved coming to watch them play. And it's very crazy now that I'm able to play with these girls and be able to play in Cousin's gym and on the court.
Who's been the most influential person in your basketball journey?
Probably my dad, because he did play basketball. He played basketball at Princeton, and just growing up, he was my coach growing up, and he was just always supportive and always just wanted me to be the best I could be.
All right, so your first 2 seasons here, you averaged 2.3 points per game. This year, you're averaging 11.1. What is responsible for this giant jump?
Well, I think I'm just feeling a lot more confident on the floor, knowing that like I'm on the floor like for a reason, to make an impact. I think like the mental side of the game is just as important as the physical side, and I think that like that's one of the biggest jumps I've made has been in my confidence and just like having the confidence to take different shots that I probably wouldn't have taken last year and just like attacking every game head on.
So you and Mallory have played together for a long time, played together in high school. What's the level of chemistry at this point?
I mean, probably more like sisters, honestly. Like, I feel like you don't really normally go to school or go to college with your, like, literal best friend from high school. And, like, we did everything together in high school, and I feel like we pretty much do the same now. So it's honestly, like, I see her more as a sister than I do as a friend.
Can you talk a little bit about the trip during the off season to Thailand?
Oh my gosh, yes. This was, like, a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Thank you again to Annika and her family. We all went out there for like 10 days. Me, Callie, and Michaela flew there together in matching neon green sweatsuit sets. So that was really fun. It was just really cool to like see a whole new part of the world that I've like never seen before. Most people can't say that they've seen. It was just like so cool.
How was the experience going out to California playing against Pomona and Claremont Mode?
It was really cool. I think we had a lot of fun in both games, and we also had a lot of fun. We got to practice at UCLA, which was amazing, and just being in the warm weather and getting to spend a lot of time together.
How was
great.
meeting Russell Westbrook?
Really cool. We did meet Russell Westbrook, and we took a picture with him, and I forgot how to speak when he said anything to me, but it was fun.
All right, similar questions. So what was the experience going back home, playing games close to home over Christmas break?
It was really fun. A lot of my family who like never get to see me play, like were able to see me play. Also cool because I've grown up like I was the ball girl at one of the neighboring high school or colleges over here that play those schools. So like being able to now like play there and like I've been there before in like a different like setting was really cool. And it was funny because I knew like one of the assistant coaches on the Pomona Pitzer team, and it was like funny because like she had just graduated like last year, and I was like, it's weird that you're a coach, but like it was just a lot of like it was a good homecoming trip. And super fun to play in California, of course. So
It was a lot of fun. I had a great roommate. Sam Sousa was my roommate, and we had a lot of fun together. And yeah, playing basketball, we played 2 games, and we won both of those games. And it was just fun to spend so much time with the team, with the coaches, and my parents and my brother got to go up there too, and so it was fun.
Honestly, despite the loss, I think our last game last year, just being able to play an Elite 8 game at home with that many people here supporting us was like an incredible feeling to just look up and look around at any point during the game. That's definitely something I will not forget.
I actually have 2. I'm gonna go same with Callie, like playing against Christopher Newport, like the fact that like you would look up and you would see like there was no empty spots, like that was just like an absurd feeling. And honestly, my freshman year we played Babson, and I remember just like that game so vividly. I don't know why, but that was like I guess like one of the first times that I ever really got like minutes in like a college game, and I just felt like it was very memorable for me.
I really think about like the Bates game from last year a lot, the second one. When Megan Graff scored 44 points, but we still came out with a win. And I think that like that was kind of our first game last year that we were in a really tight end of game situation that I can remember off the top of my head. And I feel like that was the first time that we got success in one of those tight situations. And it was just super intense, and I think it kind of gave us a good energy going into the rest of NESCAC and then into the playoffs.
Probably the first NESCAC game, because yes, that was the first NESCAC game that I've ever watched from the bench, and it was very cool, and we got a dub, so that was nice.
The 300s, definitely.
How many you have to do?
We have to do 3 300s within like, we get like a 3-minute break in between each one, I think. It's not fun.
I would say the 300s is pretty bad. I mean, like, it just never gets any easier no matter how many times you do it. I also don't really like any test that has to do with jumping because I'm not a very high jumper and everyone else can jump so much higher.
The 300 again. I strongly am a strong hater of the 300.
Definitely the 300s. I don't like them at all.